Salvete omnes, salvete amici, nomen mihi est Decimus Aurelius Ingeniarius. Hello, good day, good evening, from wherever you are watching us in the world. Welcome to the Roman Twitch channel, brought to you by Nova Roma. We are back with now session 10 of the Republic of Rome board game broadcast, continuing on from the end of last year. And we've had a really exciting session last session with the conclusion of the civil war there, led by some some senators out of Appius Rufius Luna faction. Thankfully, Rome prevailed, which is very good, but that doesn't mean Rome is out of trouble. Rome still has 3 active wars on the books, and I can see there's an inactive war over there on the other side. Tough times. Rome also lost a province, I believe it was Illyricum. And there were some minor changes at the end of our last session, which were just incorporated at the start of this session as well. For example, one of the doubts from the last session was whether the forces survived or not from the complete and utter victory against the civil war. And the answer is yes, those forces do survive. And so we originally destroyed them, but we have now resurrected them. So now Rome has a full complement of 25 legions, 4 of which are now veterans. And we also found that there was an enemy leader for the Macedonian War that otherwise wasn't prosecuted last session. So we brought Philip V in to pump up that war, much to the disgrace of Rome. And we were just double checking on some of the age values of the wars as well, concerning our war exhaustion rule. Outside of that, we are ready to go for tonight. So let's cross over to our tabletop simulator and our virtual tabletop with our senators, with Rome. So if you're watching live, bear with us. We'll come back very shortly. Otherwise, we'll see you in just a bit. Okay, we are now live. We are back looking at our Roman Senate, our amphitheatre. It's looking great. We'll just test to make sure that we do have full functionality. It's looking great there at my end. All right, let's get an audio check from our senators. Senators, give us a salvete.
Salvete.
All right, and yeah, good. I'm hearing all the good things that I want to hear in the back end. Okay, we are now here in turn 8, and we're about to start our revenue phase, which I think is, what's that, the second phase, folks, after the mortality phase. Well, the first phase after the mortality phase, the second phase overall. So let's get started now. Let's bring up our classic revenue calculator. If somebody wants to crack open the tools menu, and we can do that now. Here we go. No, thankfully, it's much less complicated than it was the last turn. For we had rebels. We no longer have rebels, which is good. What the players will need to keep an eye on, though, is whether they've lost or gained governors. So players, make sure that you have indeed checked for governors. Hang on, I'll get that fixed. There we go. Perfect. And if somebody wants to do the state as well when they finish their faction, that would be much appreciated. So for those watching along at home, this fantastic calculator, which comes as a part of this module, helps for a quick and total calculation of the funds that they're going to receive, that they'll be able to pocket. So players are required to nominate which concessions they've got, which provinces they have, which is good. So we'll just wait for that. And part of my role to make sure to check.
Taking the bonus option on a card if it has an ability?
Yes, it's called the graft, is it? A double check. Let's have a look. So for example here, right, so you might be looking to take a voluntary grain concession.
Yeah.
So in that case then, I think what you'll need to do is you might need to do that yourself. I don't know if it's on the calculator.
It's a graft, right?
That's what I was thinking.
It is the
grain
graft.
concessions. There is
It's Sicilian grain, right? Yeah, it's the graft.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's what I was thinking. I just wanted to clarify.
How many droughts do we have? Only one?
How many what, sorry?
Just one drought, yes.
No, it's calculating if you have the drought level on the left side, it will calculate it accordingly if you have selected the graft on your Sicilian grain.
Yeah, so how many droughts do we have?
Droughts would get him more and more money.
Let's check. So we've got one from the inactive war, and I think that might be it. Macedonia,
Yes.
Philip
It's
V
it, right?
doesn't introduce something himself, does he?
No.
No.
No,
So it's
no.
just the one?
Yep.
Just the one drought. So just the one drought from the Sicilian slave revolt over there.
Yep, I think
So,
you'll be able to select some provinces as well.
Yeah, make sure you
Yes.
selected your provinces,
I do
everybody.
have to select mine.
So I noticed that Tiberius Cornelius has a governor, so does Mark Aurelius, and so does Quintus Octavius. So I should see a green, a red, and an orange province selected. So Tiberius Cornelius, have you got your province?
I'm just working out which one it is.
Yep, if you look up at the map.
It's maybe.
Julius, I believe, is your governor. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Spania Citerior. Spania Citerior.
And just note whether it's improved or not. I don't think we've got any improved provinces out there at the
No, we
moment.
don't.
Not at the
No, we
moment,
don't.
no.
So nobody should have an improved province. And obviously you'll nominate if you're going to take spoils as governor or not. It looks like at this stage no governor is going to be taking any spoils.
Does that mean you can
Yep.
roll to improve instead?
You always roll to improve, but you get a bonus to the roll of improvement if you're not corrupt.
Okay.
So I guess it makes it easier to level up the province that way. Everybody's going to make sure their leader is assigned. We've got no evil omens, 3 active wars. Somebody who's done up. We've got the full 25 legions, good, 7 fleets, the Type 2 land bill, and somebody who's taking graft on Sicilian grain. All right, so just remember, folks, to really read through your profile when we calculate it to make sure that you're understanding what's happening in the provinces as well. And it'll even tell you to advance your governor's term dials as well, because the calculator helps us to remind us of that too. And then once we process all the funds, you'll get an opportunity to donate to the state, so we won't forget that. All right, I think we're all ready here. So somebody wants to hit the generate revenue button, and we'll bring it up. There we go. Who's going to nominate to do the state after their faction? Just sing out to make sure somebody doesn't double dip on the state. So it's currently at 147. I'll watch that.
Maybe because my faction
Sure.
doesn't have too much.
Yep,
to do
certainly.
now.
All right. So Appius Rufius is going to look after the state movements tonight.
Yep.
All right. So looking through here, the Aquila faction gained a nice tidy 17 talents, 15 for the Corona faction. Small amount of 3 for the Yellow Luna faction, with only 1 senator there. 16 for the Green Manus faction, 13 for Parma, and 13 for Solus. So Red Aquila bringing it in. So let's have a look. So the legions are costing a full 50 talents now for the state. Active wars is a hefty 60. So that's why the state is going to lose 30 talents overall.
Yeah, we are at the
plus-
deficit spending here.
Yeah, it's deficit spending, yeah. But I guess the good news is you're not having to buy to raise legions because you've got the many as you can. So at the end of the day, it's probably not such a great loss because you would have spent money maybe to raise some legions anyway. And the 3 provinces, not overly good. Sicilia, of course, comes up with the goods with 6, but the other 2 provinces in Hispania were costly. That's a total of 7 talents that cost the state there. Let's have a look. Let's see if any governors got to level up their province. So the holder of Sicilian grain loses 2 popularities. Obviously, there, Quintus Octavius.
done,
Don't forget
yes.
to deduct your popularity. Yep. So I'm not seeing any provinces improved, which is unlucky. And we'll talk about
Shall I
province.
advance the term markers for both Hispania provinces? Maybe.
Sorry, what was that question?
Shall I the term markers have to be advanced, right? We have to.
Yeah,
Get
sure.
the
If you want to
term,
update the
I
term
will do
markers,
it
that'd be great.
for
Yeah,
them.
please do. Yep, let's
Mine
update
is
the term
updated.
markers to the governors. Sicilia was just done, was it?
Yeah,
yes,
it
it
was
is.
done,
Perfect.
and
Thank you.
now both of Hispania are done.
Great. Both the Hispanias are done. Marvelous. What are the local taxes? 10 each. So let's ask the
30
governors
for
while
me.
we're here. Markawedia, what would you like to spend your 10 talents on in terms of units, noting that you can supplement from a personal treasury to provide some units to the region? Markawedia has dropped off, so we'll come back to her. Let's go to Tiberius Cornelius.
Yeah,
You've got
so I've
10 talents.
10. What do they
Yep.
cost?
They're 10 each plus any personal for anything from the personal treasury.
I'll just spend the state's money.
All right, and what are you going to buy?
1 legion. Is it?
Yep, go ahead. You know where they are. Grab a it's a quick pull.
Sorry, I just missed what you were up to.
Sure. So you as the owner of Hispania Ulterior get to spend local taxes on a provincial force, and plus, of course, you can supplement that from the personal treasury of Papirius. But you've got 10, which is a good for 1 unit. What would you like to spend it on?
1 unit.
Yeah. But which one? You can obviously buy. Well, I think for those provinces, they're land units only. There's no naval provincial ones available. So I guess you can buy your single provincial army if you like. You know where the bag is down here, the red bag in the middle.
So do I literally put him there in the middle? There we
Yeah,
go.
drag him up and put him in the province. That's it. Yeah, perfect. So you've got one as well. And then Quintus Octavius, you've got 30 to spend there, but
Yeah.
note your maximums if you want to supplement your province there at your leisure.
Am I under attack at the moment, or?
No, you're not, I don't think, but that's a great question to always ask. Anyway, let's just double check our wars to see if there's anything under attack.
It's the Slave of Revolt that's inactive now. That's what happened last
Great.
time.
That's thank you.
Yeah, no, we've got no French provinces. Yeah, good. So nobody's under attack, which is nice, but that's a great check. So
We'll grab 1 of you, and we'll grab 2 of you.
good. There we go. So I think you're nearly at full strength again, but you've got some wiggle room there. Okay, good. Okay, so all the governor's term dials have been advanced. The governors have bought provincial armies. And I think everybody's ticked their box except Mark. I can hear some typing or something. Is somebody typing at the moment? Just clicking.
Oh, sorry.
There you go. I was just double
No,
checking.
there seems to be a lot of static.
Oh, okay. Might be worth maybe rejoining again, perhaps. All right, so Markawedian might trial a rejoin, but everybody else has ticked the box, so we can close that. That's fantastic. And now we get to go around the room and double check to see if anyone wants to donate money to the Treasury, noting that we've lost some this round. So we're going to go to our highest ranking available official first, which is our good Rome consul over here, Marcus Decimus Meridius is first off the bat. So I'll ask him the question, would anybody like to donate to the State Treasury today?
Not this turn, thank you.
All right, around to Numerus Aurelius. Anything to the State Treasury?
Yes. Cato would like to donate 25 talents.
Cato would like to donate 25 talents, did I hear?
Yes.
All right, 25 talents. And as we can see there on the state revenue, 25 talents will gain him 3 influence for the board, which is really good. So Cato, I can see, has now deducted that money, which is very good. And he's going to gain 3 influence for that. And of course, we'll see the State Treasury updated. If Appius Rufius perhaps wants to update that with the 25 talents. All right, so we're just going to you're still right to update the State Treasury, Appius Rufius? Good. All right, so that's Numerus Aurelius done. Let's go around to Quintus Octavius. Quintus Octavius, any money to the State Treasury?
Just 13 talents.
13 talents, all right, and as we can see there, that's the base grade, well, nearly, it's just over the base grade, so he's going to gain 1 influence from that, and then the State Treasury will gain 13. So if somebody wants to add the 25 and the 13 to the State Treasury, we haven't done the 25 yet, and then add 13 then on top of that one.
Oh.
There we go.
That's 1 too high. 1.
Just wait for the State Treasury to be updated, make sure we're all sorted. There we go. So that's the 25 plus the 13 on the 117. How good their math? All right, and you got your influence for your donator?
I do need to add my influence.
I just want to double check. There's no restrictions on somebody outside of Rome donating to the State Treasury?
Not that I've heard of.
I mean, this is only saying every senator.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty good. I've got no issues at the moment. Let's see if anyone else has got any objections.
An option.
Good. All right. Round to Appius Rufius. Appius Rufius is you going to donate any money to the State Treasury? Probably not, judging by your
Not
purse.
yet. No.
That's fine. And then around to Tiberius Cornelius. Any money to the State Treasury from you?
Not today.
Okay. And Marta Coedia. Any money from the State Treasury from you?
Yes, I'm gonna do one. Let's do a 25.
25. And that, I'm assuming, is coming from Paulus Macedonicus.
There we go. Yeah.
Very good. So his purse will now empty out, and he'll gain 2 influence for the cause. If somebody now wants to aid the 25 to the State Treasury, unless it's already been done.
Influence for 25.
For 25 it gets 3 influence. That's correct. Yeah. Well done. Very good. State Treasury is looking much healthier now that we've done that. Very good. All right, let's just double check our revenue phase and make sure we've gone through that. We've got no rebels. Personal revenue is all calculated through the steps. Redistribution is, I guess, automatic of the players between their faction treasuries and personal treasuries or senators. Province development was looked at, but were unsuccessful. State revenue was all calculated. Contributions we just did. Debits was all looked after. Local forces were done. And all term dials were advanced. Very good. That was a nice, efficient forum phase, folks. So now we can zoom in here, and we now get to do the movement into the forum phase. As we like to do, we make sure we've got no event cards on the forum, which we don't at the moment. And then we move into the initiative steps, which is the 4 key steps of persuasions, nights, and then sponsoring of games, and then finally any change of faction leader, starting with the highest ranking available official, which is Rome Consul Marcus Decimus. Let us roll a 2d6 and let's see what we get. 7 or not. All right, we get not 7. So now you get to draw a card into your hand. Remember, black text comes back out, red text you keep. We'll wait for the prognosis.
It is red text, so I keep my card.
Hey, that's fantastic. Very good. Any persuasion attempts from you today?
Yes, I do.
All right, let's hear about it.
All right.
And Phil, we can bring up the persuasion calculator with us as well.
I'm
on
also
screen.
going to play a card from my hand.
All right, and I like how you use the nominee token. That makes things nice and easy as well. All right, and so let's go ahead and let's punch in some details into the persuasion calculator for us. We can, and if you just want to say out loud who's persuading from your faction, just for the players playing at home.
Let's show you my
Furious,
Furious?
the influential senator. That makes a lot of sense for me. So if you want to punch in the details in the calculator, which I think you can see on screen as well. All right, so 26 influence is going to come up on the clock there. His oratory is 3. And we'll check for bribes in just a moment. Now, let's go across and talk about details of the persuadee. So his loyalty, he'll still get an alignment bonus, but he gets loyalty of 0, as we worked out in the last session, because in his faction is also Flacus 7 Alpha. And so if they're both in the same faction, they don't like each other, so they're going to be that 0 loyalty there. So currently we're sitting at a target dice roll of 22, which is well and beyond, but really what that means is less than or equal to 10. So roll this number or less on a 2d6 to be successful. Rolls of 10, 11, or 12 are automatic failures. So it's less than 10 is what we want to say there. All right. Now, of course, we get to check for bribes, counter bribes. So let's just ask the highest ranking available official if he wants to do any bribes at this stage.
I don't believe any bribes are available, correct, by anyone else apart from him?
Oh, that's got the blackmail card, right? So that's probably worth us having a look at that. So that's a great, keen observation there. So blackmail says, for your persuasion attempt on your initiative, make an unopposed persuasion attempt against a non-faction leader senator of your choice. So no talents may be spent to defend against your only persuasion attempt this initiative. Talents already on the target still count. And there are no talents currently on the senator. So, right. So that is a very true observation. There are no bribes to be considered here, and certainly he wouldn't want to put in the forwards anyway because he's already well and truly over his maximum. 2d6 when you're ready, good sir. Less than 10. That
6.
looks less than 10 to me. That looks like a successful persuasion attempt. So we'll now see Lanus move from the faction of Tiberius Cornelius now across an elder senator across to the faction of Marcus Decimus. So perhaps a successful persuasion attempt. So let's move on with the rest of his turn there. Anybody who's going to be rolling for a knight today?
I'll have Furious roll for a knight as well. I'll put
Okay.
down 5 talents.
All right, that's an auto, so you'll deduct your 5, and then, of course, you'll get to update your knight there to 2. Very good. Anybody sponsoring any games today?
Not today, thank you.
And finally, any change of faction leader?
No, thank you.
All right, let's move along. Faction number 2 with Numerius Aurelius. 2d6 when you're ready, good sir. Looking for 7 or not. Okay, 2 dice have come out, and we are going to get not a 7. Draw a card. Bring that into your hand. Red text you keep, black text will come back out to us.
It's black text.
Black text, that sounds like it's going to come out to us, so it's going to be a war or something else. Maybe a senator, who knows? Let's have a look.
Where do you
Oh,
want
it's a
it?
senator.
Okay.
Very good. Great. So we have Sempronius of the Middle Era who's coming out to join the fray. And subsequently, free senator open for a little bit later. So let's ask the pertinent question now. Have you any persuasion attempts today?
Sure.
4 is the correct answer. All right. And we can bring up our persuasion calculator again. Who is persuading and who is your target?
So Junius will persuade.
Junius will be the persuader. Yes. And who is the
Yes.
persuadee?
And good old Sempronius.
Sempronius, yeah, it seems like a good choice there. So influence 18, his oratory is going to be 2. Good, we've fixed that up. The loyalty rating currently on Sempronius is 6. He is unaligned, so we can see that we've got a nice, healthy dice roll to begin with there. Let's ask the question: any bribes from the personal treasury at this point in time?
Yeah, let's just put 5 on there.
All right, you're going to start by putting 5 bribe monies on the card. I guess that means he's suspecting he's going to get some counter bribes. Good. So the 5's on the cards. You've made the deduction from Junius. Okay, so let's go around and just double check if anyone wants to do any counter bribes from their faction treasuries, ladies and gentlemen. Faction treasuries. Quintus Octavius, counter bribes.
Not at this time.
Appius Rufius, counter bribes.
No, not.
Tiberius Cornelius, counter bribes.
No.
Marta Coedia, counter bribes.
Not today.
And Marcus Decimus, counter bribes.
Not today, thank you.
Okay, so everyone else has just made you pay 5 talents for nothing. Go ahead, roll 2d6 less than 10, please.
Okay. 2d6.
Here we go. 2 dice have come out. Let's make sure it's less than 10.
Oh.
Oh, no way. No way. That's unlucky. So now Sempronius gets to remain free as an independent senator and gains 5 talents for the trouble. Let's move on. Anybody rolling for knights today?
No, thank you.
No, thank you. Any sponsoring of games?
No, thank you.
Finally, any change of faction leader?
No, all good, thank you.
All right, that's that turn completed. Quintus Octavius, let's get 2d6 from you. Let's see what we can get. 7 or not. 6 is good. Draw a card. Red text you will keep. Black text will come back out to us.
I will keep this one.
Oh, very good. You guys have drawn well so far. 50% of the way through. No new wars. Touch wood. I'm touching lots of wood here. Let's ask some questions. Any persuasion attempts from you today?
So if I do try and persuade someone, it's all from my faction treasury, correct?
No, it'll be from personal treasury, and I think they've got to be in Rome to be the persuader too, do they not?
Yes, that is true as well.
All right, but nonetheless, the question is still valid for you. So did you still want to persuade?
Not at this time.
Not at this time. Okay, from here, who's going to roll for a knight? Somebody in Rome, probably?
Yeah, that would be good old Grantius will roll for a knight with no money to the cause.
Okay, let's see if you can get the 6 that you need. Here we go. 3, unlucky. Any sponsoring of games? Probably not.
I will be putting 7 points to the cause.
7 talents. So if we come up here and have a look at the games table up here, we can see the cost for 7 here. Is that right? For a slice and dice?
7,
Yes, that's
13,
Very
and
good. So
18, I
great. So
believe.
we're going to spend 7 talents. We're going to have a slice and dice event, which will increase his popularity by 1 and -1 from the unrest level, which is somebody has done. Thank you very much. We're down from 3 to 2 in the unrest level. Fabius gains the popularity, and as we do know that yes, you don't have to be in Rome to sponsor games. All right. Very good. And finally, any change of faction leader from you?
No, Fabius will keep enjoying his holiday watching the chaos.
Okay. All right, let's go across to Appius Rufius now. Appius Rufius, 2d6 when you're ready, good sir. Let's see if you get a 7 or not.
Yes.
You are going to get not a 7. Draw a card. Red text you'll keep. Black text will come back out to us.
It's a keeper.
It's a keeper. Oh, very good. Okay, let's ask questions. Any persuasion attempts from you today?
Nope.
And let's talk about how you're going to roll for a night.
Yeah, it's a free roll for.
Reroll, yes. Let's look for a 6. Unlucky. I was going to ask you if you're going to change your faction leader or sponsor any games, but I suspect that's not going to occur.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that'll wrap up your turn. That was a nice quick one. Well done. Tiberius Cornelius, we're now over to you. 2d6, good sir. Let's look for a 7 or not.
7 it is.
4, 5, 6, 7.
7
Event
it is.
card
Oh.
time. Here we go.
Middle
I'm going to move my
Republic.
view up to the random
14.
events table here. All right, so we're looking at the Middle Republic column here to see what's going to occur. Let's
Manpower shortage. Manpower shortage.
Manpower shortages would be great. Evil omens would not. Let's see what
Manpower
we get.
shortage or
3d6.
allied enthusiasm.
3d6,
What's it?
please, when you're ready there, Tiberius Cornelius.
I clicked 3 times, it only rolled twice,
9.
so I'll just go another one.
9 plus what?
9
Right.
plus
Oh yeah, sorry.
10.
10.
10. 10
Evil
is.
omens.
Oh,
Evil
wow.
omens.
Oh, no.
Evil.
Okay.
Omen.
Let's pull up the rule Evil Omens in the rule book because there's a lot of stuff that needs to occur here in a particular order. Who's our current Pontifex Maximus?
It's Manlius, I guess.
All right, so I'm just going to pull up Evil Omen here now and just
Unfortunately, poor man.
talk us all through this. So bear
Yes,
with me while I
not
pull this up.
enough money on his
All right.
Senate.
Here we go. So I'm just going to zoom in on the faction of the Pontifex Maximus, and we're going to step through this one at a time. So Evil Omens, and I'm going to read this out for those playing along at home. So when the
Do we
Evil
have the
Omens
card?
event, oh yeah, there's also a card as well. So let's pull out the card if
Okay.
somebody would like to do that. Thank you, Quintus Octavius. And I'll read from the rule book while that's coming out and bring it up on the screen as well. Great. Perfect. We pop that there. That's fine. So when the Evil Omens event is drawn, the Pontifex Maximus must pay the 20 talent cost from his personal treasury. Now, if he can't pay the 20 talents, which I think is the case here, is that correct?
Correct.
Yes. If you cannot pay the 20 talents, or if a second Evil Omen occurs in the same turn, which let's fingers crossed that doesn't happen, he's stripped of his major office. So let's first of all remove the Pontifex Maximus token. So he's going to lose that office. We can remove that there. That's it. Thank you. Unlucky. And he's going to get. He's also going to get a major marker. So he's going to get a major corruption marker against his person now. So if somebody wants to grab him that and flip it over to major. He's also going to lose 5 influence. So let's now deduct the 5 influence from his target. Yep, this is a heavy cost, isn't it? And if he's unable to pay the full Evil cost, the difference plus a 10 talent fine is levied on his faction treasury payable to the bank. So
he loses his 5.
So he loses
then-
his 5, and that comes off the tally. All right, so we're down to 15 plus 10. So we're up to 25 talents. So what have you got in your faction treasury, good sir?
6.
So let's deduct 6 from 25. And then the rest is going to be paid by the state treasury. So what's that?
19.
19 from the state treasury.
Including the immediate 20.
So we've got 0 on the purse of Manlius, 0 now out of the faction treasury for Numerius Aurelius.
And we lose 39 from the state.
Boy, oh boy. No, that's already accounted for.
Okay, we've already taken the
19.
immediate 20.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hang on. So is there a 20? So what happens is, right, the 20 has got to come from the Pontifex Maximus. Now he couldn't pay that, so there's
I was just reading the very first sentence. The the state treasury immediately pays 20.
Oh, okay.
This
That's
only is the case if there is no Pontifex Maximus, because it reads beyond in the bottom of the card Pontifex Maximus Advanced Rule, and this is a text if there is no Pontifex Maximus in place. But then we have to now apply the Advanced Rule.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's very interesting. It's not necessarily clear from that card, is it? And so
Yeah,
I'm just reading from the
that's
advanced
true.
rules here, in the manual. So so pretty much we're the only thing we're interested in this card is the fact that it says evil omens, and that's about it. The rest is coming from the rule book here.
Does the -1 still affect?
Now, when you say yes, it does. The -1 will still be in effect. That is correct.
It will
Thank
stay
you.
with us. Yeah.
So there'll be -1s to all our rolls from here.
Except for initiative and events tables.
So let me just read the rest of the rules here so we can know. So if the faction treasury is blah, 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 we've done that. And if it was okay, we've done that. So the Pontifex Maximus here with his major corruption marker is another additional, I guess, charge that the censor can run this turn in addition to the normal allocation of trials that the censor can run. So there's an optional extra there for the censor to consider, which is also interesting. And the state has paid the shortfall. Yep, that's very good. All right. So we've
in
now
theory, there could be now 3 prosecutions because
it
of
could be
that.
3 prosecutions in theory.
Can I
Correct.
just interrupt with something real quick?
Yeah.
I'd just like to point out, nearly no one has any of their concession cards revealed.
Yes, let's make sure you reveal the corrupt portion of your concession cards. Yeah, now that we're talking about corruption.
Yeah, that's kind of important.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, I missed the thing. So does that mean that the censor can do 3 prosecutions? Was that the main thing? Okay.
Yeah,
Correct.
that's right. Yeah, because it's a bonus potential prosecution there. So that is the worst.
But with the
card
caveat
ever.
that the additional must be the ex Pontifex, right? Maximus. The additional
that's
one
correct.
would be needed. Yeah.
That is correct. That is correct. All right.
Yeah.
Let's try and finish off the turn now while Numerius Aurelius is reeling from that hefty blow over there. Would you like to do any persuasion attempts today, good sir? With Numerius Cornelius.
Yes, I'll go for the chap in the forum, Sempronius.
All right, so we hear a yes. Let's pull open the persuasion calculator. Crack that open. Let's start filling this out here. So we've got an oratory of 5 plus an influence of 20. So that's already a great haul for our persuader. And we're persuading over here Sempronius. And of course, he's got the 5 talents on there, which kind of acts like a counter bribe up front already.
Who's doing the persuasion? Which senator? Sorry, I missed it.
Flacius.
Does it have to be the leader?
No, it doesn't have to be the leader, but that's probably one of your 2 options.
Yeah, then I'll make it Cornelius.
All right, he's going to make it Cornelius. That's fine. That's fine. Yep. Cornelius is going to be the persuader with 30 influence. And what's the oratory he gets? 6. Yep, because that's from his faction. He's old. Oh, the disbanded legion there. That's cool. Yep.
And then this would get a negative roll because, well, a plus roll.
Yeah,
in this case.
-1.
A plus roll, yeah. And
Because of evil omens.
which would be
Oh, yeah,
negative,
sorry
right?
about that.
Yeah. A negative outcome adding a roll.
So essentially 9, 10, 11, or 12 become the failure numbers.
Right.
The failure
so-
numbers.
Yes, failure numbers increases by 1, so a 9 technically also becomes a failure. That's what we're saying.
Yes.
Because we're adding to the negativity of something. Is that what we're trying to say? Yes. that's what
-1 penalty is applied to every die or dice roll.
Yeah,
Right, and so
persuasion
the-
is plus 1.
But
I think
persuasion
You add
plus
1 to the dice roll, not
one
you
for
don't add another
persuasion,
failure
yes.
number. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's just a plus 1 to the dice roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, so +1
Right.
to all persuasion attempts.
There we go. All right, so let's just double check our stats. 30 influence, check. Oratory 6, yes. Current loyalty of the Sempronius is 6. Yes, he's unaligned. Yes, 5 on the card, which we're adding to the counter bribe portion here. Let's ask the question: would you like to add any bribes at this point? Probably not. All right, let's just quickly check with everybody else. Mark Wedia, any counter bribes from your faction treasury?
No.
Marcus Decimus?
No, thank you.
Numerius Aurelius can't, I know for sure. Quintus Octavius?
No, thank you.
Appius Rufius?
No.
Okay, it'll be unopposed. So let's get 2d6, and let's see how you go.
Just barely.
Just barely. All right. So congratulations. You've now earned yourself another senator. Just barely. Well done. All right. As Sempronius gets himself acquainted with his new friends there in the Corona faction, I'll ask the question, is anybody going to be sponsoring any games today?
Yes. So Fulvius Flaccus 7A will. And
Okay.
what's the... Where are the games? Where's the table?
Games is right up underneath the map. So you've got 7, 13, and 18 are your respective costs, with the appropriate popularity 1, 2, and 3 accordingly.
Yeah, I'll go for the... Well, we can't go negative for unrest, though, can we?
We cannot.
So I'll do the middle one.
Middle Bloodfest
Bloodfest.
for 13 talents and 2 popularity. So our unrest will drop to 0, which is probably good. The money's going to
People
come
love
off
it.
card. Excellent. We're going to increase the popularity by 2. Lovely. And
People are happy until the
people are
state
happy and they
adjusts.
love that. That is fantastic. All right. And any change of faction leader today?
No.
All right. Well done. Let's move on. Marika Wedia, your turn. Let's finish this off. 2d6. Let's see if we get a 7 or not. Oh, hang on. We'll pause there. 5. So just in a moment, we failed to ask Tiberius Cornelius if he gets to roll for a knight.
Oh, right. Yeah,
Nearly forgot.
maybe the new chap with his $5 there.
All right. Sure, go ahead.
Yep.
Auto win, so he's going to get a knight added to his pile, and he'll lose his 5 talents there. Very good. Sorry, I just want to make sure that was done, and that roll counts. So Marika Wedia, you get to draw a card.
Woo-hoo.
Last chance to draw a war.
That's it. So yeah, that's right.
If you say something, man.
Black text will come back out. Red text you'll keep.
I was
Oh.
double jinxing it. Yeah.
I keep it.
Yeah,
yeah.
double jinx works. Let's go.
All right. Fantastic. So you get to keep that red text card. Well done. Let's ask you some questions. Any persuasion attempts from you today?
No, but I wanted to ask, if I bring up the calculator, I was just, where is the calculator for persuasion attempts?
Tools. Under the tools button
Under the
up the top there.
tools.
Yep, and hit persuasion. That's it.
Oh, I get you.
There you go.
So it's the influence and the oratory that kind
Correct.
of.
Yep, that's correct. Yep. Hey, what's happening with Plateus's numbers there? In your
I'm not
section there.
sure. I think it was because I
Was
got
one
a
of those
new
is influence or popularity, was it?
one.
It would have been because you moved the tax farmer across.
Might be his
Yeah,
influence,
that
was it?
makes
That makes
sense.
sense.
Yes,
There we
that
go.
makes
Cool. All right. So no
No.
persuasions from you today?
No persuasions.
Cool. Who's going to roll for a knight?
The new guy.
New guy. All right. Free roll. Get a 6. None
Nope.
lucky. Any sponsoring of any games today?
Nope.
And finally, any change of faction leader?
Yes, I was thinking of. I did consider it. Flaminius can be the new leader.
All right. Flaminius is going to be the new leader. All right. Then just continue to remind ourselves about those die rolls. -1s.
Oh, does that mean my thing should have been one?
You're right. You're right. That's all right. I think I've just double checking my head. Everything's been okay so far.
It
and so
only
we're
would
good.
have mattered if she rolled an 8.
That's right. All right. We are now done with all the initiatives. So now let's go ahead and let's put Rome in order. So I'm going to bring this up for everybody playing at home here. So putting Rome in order requires a couple of different things.
Oh,
First
one
of all,
point of order. One
Yeah.
point of order, though.
Yeah.
I only now recognized how much did Sempronius pay for his knight?
he paid
5.
put all 5 talents.
You would
and
have
we
to
have
roll
evil
though,
omens.
because
Yeah.
you would still
Uses-
need to roll.
Yeah, there's still a chance he couldn't get it
There's a
because it'll
chance
be a
that he could
-1 to the roll.
fail.
Just check the chat. What roll did he get?
I didn't roll, but I
He
can
didn't
now.
He didn't roll
All right,
Yeah,
let's go ahead and
roll.
roll. But yeah, good point.
anything but a 1.
Anything but a 1. Okay.
Sorry, but I have to be.
That's fine.
No, that's what we like. There's lots of people which will be applauding the check there, so well done. So we'll correct that.
Alan's happy in his seat.
Oh dear. Okay, but yes, that bad omen is going to be the bane of our existence for the rest of this turn. All right. Let's put
Yeah,
Rome in order. First of all, everybody holding a major marker now needs to grab a major corruption marker, please. So anybody with a purple token right now, which isn't many people. There should be only like 2 people getting a corruption marker.
Everyone else is dead.
Everybody else is dead or lost their office. Now, we don't have the Second Punic War active. Now, what slave revolt is out at the moment? Sicilian, not Gladiator? Good. And now we get to double check if we get to revive some senators, concessions, and remove some enemies. So, Marcus Decimus, is your dice hand ready?
Yep.
Let's start by seeing if we can get rid of Hannibal. First of all, when you're ready, 1d6, a 5 or a 6.
No, it'll be
Yeah,
only
yeah.
a
Hannibal
Yes.
survives. All
evil
right.
omen.
All right. Plus evil omens to think about too. So yes, let's start next with Claudius.
Nope.
Nah, the evil omen will kunk that one. Achilles. Definitely not. Valerius. Nah. Emilius. Nah. So that's all the senators. All right. So now, as we get ready for the next roll, let's have a look at Tax Farmer 2. You want to roll for that?
I did. It was a 1.
Okay, that's fine. I gave you an opportunity to have another go. That's cool. Tax Farmer 6. Nope. Harbour fees.
Yay!
Yay! Harbour fees. We
Everyone's
got one.
favourite.
That's surprising. All right. And then we go back to a cheat sheet again. And all players need to update their faction vote tallies, please. So oratory plus knights. Oratory plus knights. And then update your faction vote markers. Oratory plus knights. Some of you will have modifiers because of disbanded legions. However you're managing that.
Do I get a disbanded legion then? Not every time.
You've already got one I see there for...
Yeah.
Yep. So you've already tracking that with your marker I see there. That's good.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Oratory plus
Five.
knights.
7, 8, 9, 10,
You're good.
14. Well, I haven't
Good.
changed.
And now with that, we're going to conclude the forum phase and move into the population phase. Very good. So I think, folks, because we're just tracking so well, we might actually get to the point where we elect our consoles, if everybody is happy with that, and then we'll finish after with the election of consoles, give them something to think about over the next week. So if we look at population phase, we now need to work out our unrest level. So it's going to be +1 for every drought and unprosecuted wars. So as we look around, we can see we've got 1 drought over here on the Sicilian slave revolt, +3 active wars here at the moment, which is a total of 4 to the unrest level, if I'm not mistaken. So if we want to update the unrest level to 4, very good. Now from here, we are now going to hear from our current Rome consul, who will then give the state of the Republic address, and then we'll take 3d6 plussing the HRO's popularity minus the unrest level, and we've got a note, we've also got to minus another one for the bad omen. All right, so let's just double check so we can pre-tally in ahead. The popularity at the moment of our Rome consul
9.
is a solid 9. That's very good. So 9 minusing 4, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
-1.
-1 for the bad omen is 4. So we're going to add +4 to our 3d6. Does everybody concur?
Yes.
Good. All right. Over to you,
Yes.
Rome consul, for the State of the Republic address.
Romans, thank you for gathering here. We have come out of a bloody civil war. Luckily, every soldier survived such a Roman on Roman conflict, which we will need every armed man to face the upcoming wars. While we were weak, the enemies of Rome gathered strong around us. But since brother and brother, arm in arm, Romans have come together again, no more forces have dared raise their head against us. We shall take our forces hand in hand and crush the remaining enemies of Rome.
Huzzah!
Indeed.
Here.
Brilliant. All right, let's finish off our popularity
Right,
and state of
3d6,
the roll
right?
then. Yeah, 3d6 plus 4. So I see you roll the dice. Fantastic.
Big numbers, nice.
12.
12 plus 4.
16.
Look at
Minus
that.
1.
That is a great speech. Brilliant.
one.
Great speech. That is a great, well done there. And at this point, I'd like to send a salve out to Aulus Virgilius Claro, who's joining us from Provincia Utreya, or Etruria is probably the better way to say that. And beverage time for anybody hopping around there. Unknown Star has claimed beverage time using these Novaroma Sesterces. So drink up, everybody, in celebration of that great speech by the Rome consul. And as we all know, once we've implemented the outcome, we are then in the Senate phase. And as we've discussed, we're going to move into the election of the consuls before we conclude there. So, yes, perfect. Thank you very much for somebody who remembered to update our banner. We are now in the Turn 8 Senate phase. So, over to you, Consul. Let's hear what you've got to say.
For the next phase, well, the first part of the phase will be electing the consuls for our next Senate hearing. Let's have a bit of, I think, we've got 3 active wars, one of them being a 20. So I think both scenarios would allow us to do a dictator. So I'm certainly going to have a bit of consideration to ensure that we don't lock out anyone that could be eligible for a dictator role. I think we've got a senator that does nullify the Macedonian wars, which is our large war. Yes.
So I think the key question is, do we go for a 2-war strategy and knock off the Gallic and the Jugenthine wars, or a 1-war strategy and pile into the Macedonians?
The interesting thing is 10 fleets for the support. So we do have some money. I think I most certainly would have to do the 2. I think we need to not get ourselves too caught up. We've had a wonderful round of drawing no wars, which has been fairly lucky for us. So
And probably won't hold next turn, right?
You get double
yeah.
the amount next turn.
I would be leaning towards we will do a double war strategy. So
Agreement with that.
I think
Yeah, I agree.
very similar to what was discussed before. We should probably also ensure that any Rome consul should, if the dictator did not return to Rome, would also have a reasonable popularity strength to ensure that that they can do the Republic address. And we should ensure that our field consul has a good military rating, because if we are going to be sending 2 forces, the Rome, the second force would have to be the field consul. So why don't we have a bit of a consideration for military ratings around the place?
So could we send a dictator to, say, fight the Gallic War with a very small force, and then send the field consul, possibly Paulus Macedonius, with our bulk of our army to attack the Macedonians?
We could, yeah. I think the only issue with the Gallic, if you did it that way, was just ensuring that we didn't overkill, because we also should consider that for the military ratings to take into effect the calculation, there has to be a equal number of legions. If there's not, then we basically lose that military rating. So if we had like an 8 for the dictator plus master and horse, but we only sent 5 legions, then our military rating would scale down to the number of legions. So it's probably better to be safe that we would send the dictator against the Macedonian War.
Yep.
All right. So basically, I'm interested in looking for a senator that has some level of popularity, and then also a senator with a strong military rating, probably a 4+. Then I would leave it to the consuls to decide after that if they want to do a dictator, and I would leave probably my own personal preference to be the senator that can remove the standoff numbers for the Macedonian War.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Well, having a look around, I think the only 4 is in the same faction as the dictator. So
yeah,
Yep.
and obviously to spread around the influence as well. Yeah, if we got a 4 that's away from Rome, a senator that has way too much influence. There's a 3 and some popularity. All right, then I'll probably put forward one proposal. One of my 2 nominees will be Manlius. I like he has both a strong military rating, has a popularity, and is up for a major corruption as well. So,
Woohoo.
you know he'll play game. He'll play ball. Quid pro quo.
I think also just to spread out the influence and power, I'm going to put forward my nominee for Trentus from the Manus faction.
So does
All
that mean that we'd use like Manlius as field consul? I thought that we needed some military rating.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, yeah, well.
I'm also trying to spread out.
There's only 1 4
commander.
military, and that's in the same faction as yours, Marco, as the dictator. So,
Which,
it's a bit,
yeah, I'm
it's a
certainly
bit
not going to say
trusting.
that. Yeah, I'm certainly not going to say that it's guaranteed to be dictator. So obviously, I'll leave it to the senators during their time to decide. But I'm certainly leaving that option open for the censors next turn if they choose to take that avenue. Anyway, so my proposal is for Trantius and for Manlius to be the nominees for the censor. Can I hear from Numerous your vote, please?
Sorry, 1 second. Yep, so that is 14 votes in favour.
Quintus Octavius, I'll hear your vote.
I'll put my 2 votes in favour.
Appius Rufius, I'll hear your vote.
Nay.
The Tiberius Cornelius, I'll hear your vote.
No.
Marker, I'll hear your vote, thanks.
No, I think we should do my.
And I shall place my votes in favour of the proposal.
I think you win.
Yes.
37 to 35.
Whoa, that was a close one. All right. So the outgoing console, just make sure you've got a prior console marker. Yes, you do. Very good. And now, if we'd like to...
I shall place the Fuscus to the centre.
Excellent. Run some administration. So if our new consoles want to grab some purple tokens and update their influence, we can do that right now as well.
Okay. I'm assuming we don't have to... Oh, I just got the message. Yeah, Quintus. As long as you're happy with that.
I figured that would probably make the most sense at the moment.
It's good. The consuls are now discussing between each other about who is going to be Rome consul and who's going to be field consul, but I fully suspect that they're also going to elect a dictator. So really it just becomes about who's going to go off to war and who isn't. So it appears they've made their choices. It looks like Numerus Aurelius is going to probably take on field consul, and Quintus Octavius is going to lead as Rome consul there. While we're in stride, folks, and if the consuls are happy, I guess we can then hear any opening speeches and then perhaps put it, if they are going to a dictator appointment, and we can hear about that.
Well, I guess I, Manlius, the field consul, shall introduce Terentius as Rome consul. A round of applause, please, plebeians.
I don't condone the plebeians part, but we'll take it.
Just before we move on to dictator, however, we need to elect a Pontifex Maximus, so we can certainly allow for that with the good timings that we've got so far. So I'll leave it to Rome consul to discuss that first, just to make sure we're in order.
Pontifex Maximus. What's the restrictions on Pontifex Maximus?
So long as they're not holding a major office. So I tell you, it looks like some discussions are happening in the background now about who's going to take on the Pontifex Maximus position before the Rome consul considers some proposals. All right, we're just waiting for Quintus Octavius as the new Rome consul to eventually put through his proposal for Pontifex Maximus now. So he's just looking around, considering this position.
I think too.
Naturally, people would be conflicted because we've just seen the bad omen come out, but otherwise it can be a beneficial position provided that the individual plans for it correctly.
I am so going to struggle with this name. All right.
All right, what's he thinking?
I would like to put a proposal forward to have Popilius Lianus. Don't know how to pronounce that one.
Yeah, Popilius Lanus, yes.
Lanus, yep.
Publius Popilius Lanus.
Pontifex Maximus. All right. I shall hear from your votes, Marcus Decimus.
Thank you. I'll put my 21 votes in favour. And if I could, Rome consul, I'll just take a moment to address the floor to maybe put forward my own advocacy for the role. So far, I have the faction has been able to generate a considerable amount of wealth over the lifetime of the faction within Rome. You've also seen that I've placed a large amount of this fortune towards the state treasury as well. If elected to this position, we will ensure that the Pontifex Maximus will have the required funding and support to ensure that all religious functions are fully upkept. Thank you.
I only see 8 on one of your senators. Perhaps you'd like to audit your state treasury. Publicly declare that audit.
How about we go with Numerus Aurelius's vote?
14 votes against.
I shall put my 2 votes in favor. Appius Rufius.
2 votes against.
Tiberius Cornelius.
Tiberius Cornelius has just jumped offline.
Okay. Marco Ledia.
I want to wait for Tiberius.
You can't if the
Oh,
Rome
yeah,
console
the,
is for
Rome
You
you,
were
mate.
about
console.
to vote no.
Okay.
Rome console says, let's go with it. Votes.
I say no.
All right. Let's just double check on Tiberius Cornelius. I think he might have had a battery issue. We'll just double check on him there. Hopefully, it's not a major technical fault, rather.
Anyway, I had a really good board game meetup last week. It was one of the really big one
Nice.
because we have 3 massive tables. We have a huge outdoor area, an indoor area, 2 other lounge rooms. So technically, we could play a lot. It was really good.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
I think, what did they play? Keyflower and the tulip game. You know where you sell tulips from the Dutch crash, the economic crash. It's a pretty good game. I did like the tulip one.
Okay.
It
Oh,
was
good.
about what? Crush?
It's about the tulip bulb crash.
This is in Dutch, right? The Dutch, the Netherlands,
yeah, it's
right?
a Dutch. Yeah, and it was actually quite good. I would say I'd play it again.
Cool.
Oh, good. Tiberius Cornelius is communicating us through the chat. So if somebody, let's see, hopefully he'll pass his vote through chat there.
I think clearly looking at where his cursor's going, it's going to be a yay vote.
Yeah, obviously.
Well, hopefully he'll drag his he votes against. Oh wow! All right, there you go. We have his vote. So we have 1 ineligible now for good job, Appius Rufius.
Yeah.
So the Rome consul will have to come up with a second proposal.
Yes. Proposal.
Right, so those playing along at home, the Rome consul Terentius under Quintus Octavius now considering a second proposal for the Pontifex Maximus office. And so we are at this point in our cheat sheet here. Election of Pontifex Maximus can only occur at this time. And it must be an aligned senator in Rome. So thankfully all of our senators are aligned, which is good, but they do have to be in Rome to be eligible for the proposal. All right, what do you think of Rome Consul?
Give me 2 seconds. All right, next one is for...
Sorry.
You're right. You're okay.
Hi.
You haven't missed much. He's just about to announce his second proposal for Pontifex Maximus.
Quinticus.
Haha, no. We're going to go with Cato the Elder, 22A.
Cato the Elder, 22A. Okay.
I would like to hear from your votes, Numerous Aurelius.
I'll abstain.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Make sure you indicate that by flipping your vote card and popping it central or something like that. Yeah, that's it.
Be
Perfect.
a conflict of interest.
Marcus Decimus.
I'll vote against the proposal.
Appius Rufius.
Yeah, against.
Tiberius Cornelius.
I vote against.
Marco Aurelius. Good times.
All right. That's a second proposal shot down there. Because of the abstention, there's no penalties for the presiding magistrate, so that's okay. Although I think you voted in favour of your own vote, didn't you?
Yeah, I don't think that counts if every other faction.
My votes, and I'm very disappointed.
All right, so let's see the third proposal. Let's see who might come up as Pontifex Maximus this time.
Rome Console's just having his own disappointment that no one waited for his votes to go out.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Everyone was just like, okay, we're done.
Oh dear.
Right.
Shall we have a recess?
Does anyone else homebrew? I did a really good batch this week.
Awesome. What is
I
it?
used to.
I did a really interesting one. I used I had a massive kilo thing from the wholesaler of like black chai tea with cardamom and sugar, and so I used it as a base with like lots of ginger and grapefruit, because I had all the grapefruits from the back, and so it's like this real ginger grapefruit black tea base. And I used like the yeast you use for 4.8% ginger beer. Anyway, it's pretty interesting.
Well done.
Yeah.
All right, Rome Console, let's speed this up.
All right. It's a little hard for me to do, as also the scribe, but we'll get to it.
Do some abridged notes.
I'm trying my best.
Well
My
done.
notes are very half-assed at the moment.
That's all right. It can be a yay, nay.
All right. We'll go for Flaminius, ID 13.
What faction's that?
That is the Aquila faction.
Oh yeah.
All right. We'll have Marco Elia. Place your votes, please.
14 votes in favor. Yay.
All right. We'll go with Tiberius Cornelius.
19 against.
We'll go Appius Rufus.
2 against.
Numerous Aurelius.
14 in favour.
Marcus Decimus.
21 votes against.
Well,
Good times. Oh, we're waiting for me this time.
Yeah, we're waiting for you.
sorry, that must take twice.
All right. I'll put my 2 votes abstained.
Okay.
All right, that's another fail.
You guys always make this very difficult.
We're up to our 4th proposal for Pontifex Maximus.
This is going to be the worst notes I've done now. I mean, if anyone wants to nominate any of their own, do message me. We'll
What
help
about
speed up the
Quinticus from Appius Rufus's faction?
Oh yeah. Quinticus. Yeah.
We can do that one. What's his ID?
18.
All right. Yeah, we'll do Quinticus. And so I'll have Appius Rufus. Please put your votes forward.
Okay. Nay.
How did I know that was going to happen? Anyway. Tiberius Cornelius.
No.
Go down the list again.
Deny
Marco
everything.
Aurelius. Yep. Marco, what's your votes?
Yay.
Numerous Aurelius.
14 in favour.
And Marcus Decimus.
21 votes against.
This is such a meaningless
We are waiting.
office.
We are waiting for the magistrate or not.
All right, we're now up to proposal 5 for Pontifex Maximus.
Woohoo.
We're seeing some consistent voting trends here amongst the factions.
So how do we move forward?
You don't.
What's next?
Eventually, if this keeps happening, we'll get to one last eligible candidate who'll become Pontifex Maximus.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Practically, we'll be sitting here a while until people decide to actually vote.
We are voting, man.
Yeah, what are you doing? The votes are coming in.
Yeah, just not in the right thing to just move this forward.
Maybe it's time to start making some deals.
I'll be happy to make a deal. I've said they can message me. I haven't had a message yet. All right.
Vote for me.
All right. Calpurnius, ID 16 will be.
What faction?
That would be. I believe it's the Corona. Yeah.
Calpurnius. Oh yes. Corona faction. Very good.
All right. Tiberius Cornelius, I'd like to hear your votes.
Might do in favour.
Found one that he likes.
Who? Oh, Jesus Christ. Marco Early, what's your votes?
No. Are we just going to go on forever? No. Give it to my guy. I have like less votes than these people.
What are you talking about? I'm the in the middle.
Well,
We
why
have
don't we
the
nominate
most
you?
votes.
Can you nominate? Oh no, you're Rome Consul. You've got nothing to nominate.
Yes, I'm kind of stuck. Appius Rufus,
2 no.
Numerus Aurelius,
14 in favour.
Marcus Decimus,
21 votes against.
And we're waiting for you if you wish to.
make this so much more difficult than it needs to be.
Either way.
Either way, no matter how I vote, the vote's no.
Oh wow!
Everybody
All right.
abstain.
Proposal number 6 for Pontifex Maximus now.
Thank God, dictator's an appointment.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yes, thank God.
Thank God the Romans thought about that one.
I'm so glad.
Yes. Holy dooly.
All right, next shot. We're just going to work our way down this at this point. All right, Sempronius.
Junius?
Nah, we're doing Sempronius unless you put a Tribune out. And we can't Tribune to skip this vote entirely.
I believe in you.
Oh, I'm not at this point. All right. Tiberius Cornelius, your votes, please.
Sorry, who is the nominated?
You're going to put your nominee marker down. Yep.
Oh, yeah, sorry, my bad.
Oh,
There we
yeah.
go. Sempronius. There we go. Okay. Corona
Not in
faction.
favour.
All right, Marco, can I have your votes?
Is this basically coming down to the fact that everyone's going to be so worn down?
How it really works in politics, right? You
Uh-huh.
make it so long
Yeah.
until everyone is worn out and they vote yes.
That's it.
No, give it to my guy. I have less votes.
This is our version of filibustering, right?
Yeah.
Appius Rufus.
2 no.
Numerus Aurelius.
Try again. He's not listening.
No, Numerus Aurelius, we need you to pay attention. Place your votes.
Yoo-hoo! Numerus Aurelius.
Oh, yeah, sorry. 14 votes in favour.
All right, Marcus Decimus.
21 votes in the
All
negative.
right, let's go to the next one.
All right, proposal number 7.
Start writing F for failed at this point. Right. Who have we still got left?
Plenty of options still on the board.
Alright. Since you're so willing to shout your name, we're going to do with Palladius.
Plautius. Ah, yes. Plautius of Marcoedius faction is the next one. Okay.
Alright. Alright, I would like to hear your modes, Marco Elio.
14 in favor.
Tiberius Cornelius.
$19 against.
Yeah, I was waiting for it. Appius Rufius.
2 against.
Numus Aurelius.
14 against.
Alright, and Marcus Decimus.
Blah.
Wow.
21
All right.
votes against.
There's another one. Okay. Proposal number 8.
Just do her whole faction so she doesn't have a reason to vote against the future ones once she's locked in.
I didn't think there was anything because one of them's censor at the moment, so I didn't think they could be nominated.
I don't think no
your
one
censor card.
should be censor now, right?
Censor's
Yeah,
still
it would be.
getting...
There is a censor right now. Yeah, leave it
Okay,
there.
okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
so I didn't think he could be nominated. He was
cannot.
ineligible.
Yeah, I guess he would be then, yeah.
Yep.
He would be eligible, yes.
And what
I
would
thought
happen
it was
if Macedonius, Senator 19A, was Pontifex Max? Could he also be
No,
then made the?
no, he
Yeah,
couldn't
made
be.
the
So you'd have to
dictator.
watch that.
Yeah.
But to answer the question, the censor is eligible
Correct.
because
the censor
it
is
the
eligible.
understanding
Pontifex
that he
Maximus.
would not be,
Oh, he is. Okay, so that
Yeah,
guy
he
was
is eligible.
Okay.
Because on the assumption that he'll obviously not be put up for office in the coming term, so he'll
Because
lose
then he
it.
wouldn't then be
Yep.
able to be elected.
So yes,
senator. He would
like
already
like dictatorship appointment as well. The censor is eligible.
Okay.
But the other consuls, that's true, they are not eligible. Yeah,
Correct.
that's
Yeah.
true.
Good.
Alright, we'll just go with Aurelius ID9.
What faction?
That one.
Okay. Aurelius.
Alright, Marco Elio, your votes.
Yay.
Tiberius Cornelius, should I just put you 19 for no?
No.
Alright. Appius, we'll put you 2 in no as well.
Yes, you know.
And we'll go with that, you know. And Marcus, I'm assuming you'll know too. Yep. Okay.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Roger.
My notes at the moment is just P Max, the person's name, then YAN, and then that's
Yes.
just the
good.
numbers.
So just be
The
careful,
full
folks. Looks
Google
like you're gonna your
No.
choice for dictator is probably going to end up as Pontifex Maximus if you're not careful.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
It's not a problem.
Unless that's somebody's plan all along.
Yeah, just force them to be bloody Pontifex Maximus. Oh, guys, the dictator can't be have 5.
All right. Let's do
The
proposal
guy who
9.
is ordering the voting should always have a plan, right? Because that's the whole idea of having
Right.
the power of structuring the voting.
Yep.
But my plan is let's hopefully get this done.
Alrighty. What's your next one, Rome Console?
Alright, we're going with Alias 14.
Something fresh, something new. I like it.
And yeah, I would like to hear your votes, Marcus Decimus.
21 votes in favor.
Appius Rufius.
2 against.
Tiberius Cornelius.
19 against.
Marco Elio.
Against. We've still got one more eligible in Numerius Aurelius's, don't we?
Yes, there is one more in his. Alright, thank you, Numerous Aurelius.
Proposal 10. Golly gosh.
Alright. Who's the last guy available in your faction, Julius? Junius, there we go. Alright, we're going to go with Junius this time.
Junius, Numerus Aurelius' faction. Okay.
Alright, Numerus Aurelius.
Make sure you announce your votes.
14 in favour.
Tiberius Cornelius.
19 in favour.
Appius Rufus.
2 against.
Alright. Give me 2 seconds. Marco, can I have your votes?
14 in favour.
Oh, woohoo, we got it.
Finish her off. Bring her home.
Give me a sec, I need to keep counting. Alright, Marcus Decimus.
21 against.
Cool, I'm just abstain.
Just as a point, if I hadn't abstained in the first round, I would have passed.
Yeah, it would have.
We would have saved
Probably.
all this trouble.
Yep, you're not wrong.
All right, Pontifex Maximus. Time for you to update your influence. You get a 5 influence there, and we'll bring that little veto marker down for you to spend. But you know how that works. So, all right, Pontifex Maximus has returned to its natural home in the blue faction.
Yep.
Very good. Wow. And as Aurelius Regilius says on the chat, round and round they go. Yes, they did. 10 rounds worth, I think, there. Crikey almighty. Oh, and somebody's thrown a card out. Who's thrown the card today?
Me. It's just a card where I get to switch randomly with somebody.
But you
And
can't
draw
play
an
it at the
unplayed
moment.
card at random from an opponent of your choice. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
All right. So who are you going to
That
steal
card
from?
cannot be played at the moment. It needs to be played during the revolution phase.
It says it
Ah,
can't
during the
play
resolution
directly.
phase,
Wait,
yes.
Just discard
Other
any
than the
other
resolution
card.
phase. So this is legitimate. Yep, this is a legitimate
Okay,
play.
there you go. Never mind, I
Yep,
read
it
wrong.
says other than the revolution phase. So the way this can essentially work, Martica Wedia, is you can literally just go and grab a card from somebody's hand and bring it into your hand now.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. There you go.
Hope it's a good one.
All right,
Well
there we
done.
go. She's done it. She's played her card. All right, now, consoles. Time for you to make an appointment of dictator, and then we'll wrap things up.
Let's see. How much are we going to struggle with this one?
No, we just have to agree, don't we?
I think we're going to go with 19A.
Well,
Don't you dare do this.
I'm in complete agreement.
All right.
All right. So is that it then? Would you like to formally announce to the crowd who the dictator appointment is?
Yeah. So our dictator is Aemilius Paulus Macedonius.
All right.
Thank you.
Amazing. Yes. Is this our
Looking
first
for-
dictator for this game?
Technically, yes, because the other
No,
one
well,
died.
No, well,
No,
no.
two
Then
have been elected.
it'll be technically no then.
2 have been elected, but none have served before this.
Yeah.
Yeah, none have actually served an office before. All right. Make sure you add your 7 influence there, Martica Wedia, to Macedonicus. Good. And at this point, you get to pick your master of horse.
Oh, I actually get to pick the Master of Horse myself.
You physically
Totally
get to
forgot
pick the
about
master of horse yourself. That is correct. I mean, of course, you can negotiate other things, but yes, they'll get 3 influence for their trouble.
You should pick Flaminius. He's pretty strong.
Yeah, I was going to say, doesn't it help the military if the Master
Yeah,
of
military rating is a good thing
Yeah.
to think about, correct?
Horse is a good choice for Master of Horse? There we go.
All right.
Hmm.
Master of Horse stays within the same faction there under Flaminius. There we go.
Flaminius is now the poster child for nepotism.
Yeah, right. Nepotism.
Yeah, that's it. All right, folks. We might now draw a conclusion there. Now that we know who the highest ranking available official is, which is Martica Wedia. Martica Wedia can take some notes on the field and the wars that she sees at the moment, so she can form some proposals over the next week, and then she can come back to us and lead into a
And
very
censor
strong
next-
Senate phase.
One question. Sensor next time, right?
Yes.
What's that, sorry?
Yeah.
The sensor elections then the next time,
That
right?
would be next, yep. So her first proposal on the floor will be, who's going to be censor, and then the censor needs to think about, obviously, who they're going to prosecute. But right, then from there, Marco Wedia will be thinking about execution of wars, allocations of provinces, concession cards, etc., from there. So hopefully Marco Wedia is taking some notes now on the field as she sees it. And of course, you can stick around afterwards and have a look as well. Take some screenshots or whatever. So that is where we will commence, continuing with the Senate phase next week. For now, we'll conclude this part of the game. For those watching live or otherwise watching on YouTube, stick around. I'm going to do my normal end of session recap. But for the time being, we'll transition briefly. I'll dismiss my senators in the background, and then we'll be right back. So hang in there. Okay, we are back for our end of session recap, the end of session 10 of the Republic of Rome board game broadcast here on the Nova Roma Twitch channel. Interesting session. So tonight we went through the revenue phase, the forum phase, population phase, and we just started the beginning of the Senate phase now, looking at moving through turn 8. And I can say so far that, pretty interesting. What's great for Rome here is they didn't draw any war cards from that forum phase, which is fantastic. And that'll be a big sigh of relief, because I tell you what, with 3, moderately sized wars out there at the moment, they didn't want any more, particularly with that Macedonian war and Philip V. That's a strength 20 war now, plus with Illyricum out there. So that is something that they we'll be looking at, and that's already at age 2, so that's starting to age a bit as well, which creates some concerns. Very punishing start to the Senate session there, as they tried to vote on a Pontifex Maximus. So very consistent voting there from factions, obviously with a particular insight into who they wanted to see as Pontifex Maximus. In the end there, it's gone back to the faction of Marcus Aurelius. With the votes just getting over the line there. But I suspect there are some other factions maybe wanting to maybe have a go. I mean, perhaps not put off by the fact that the Bad Omen come out. And look, the Bad Omen's not too bad if you plan for it, but that means you've got to lock away, 20 talents or slightly less to, stave off there. It's like an insurance policy, really. But if you've got the money floating around, if you bring it in, then Pontifex Maximus can be quite useful. It's almost like you've locked away 20 talents for the ability to veto there, which to some people can be quite useful, having that free veto each turn and not having to lock that out up in a star. There's a total of 11 Pontifex Maximus proposals there. There we go. That's fantastic. And look, we've seen the appointment of the dictator now, so that's where we concluded our session. So, look, I think that's probably a smart choice, and it obviously gives us an indicator into the Senate's plans going forwards from here. So they've elected Aemilius Paulus Macedonicus, and he has the nullifies disaster standoff ability against the Macedonian wars, but obviously not on any leader. So that's going to increase their odds of a success, or rather, reduce the percentages of disasters and standoffs against that large First Macedonian War. So that's probably a good choice there. So we see the Dictator and Master of Horse from the same faction. That's, the election, the appointment of the Master of Horse there with Flaminius was an interesting choice. I think generally in some of the you'll see a Master of Horse put in another faction, because I guess the risk there is, if the commander is, you take casualties for one, but even if they're defeated, you're going to lose both the Dictator and Master of Horse. They're both at risk of death, I guess, every time they go to war. So putting the Master of Horse in your same faction can be a risky move, but otherwise it's a great way of gathering influence otherwise, if you're happy with the risk. So she'll just need to make sure that the Senate doesn't hamstring her in terms of forces going to fight that war, which would put her and her Master of Horse at risk, and subsequently reducing her total faction power through the course of the rest of the game. Interesting strategy, of course, to think about there. Outside of that, yeah, look, we saw Sempronius, a new senator brought in, who was eventually won by Tiberius Cornelius. Somebody had a go. I think that was Numerius Aurelius, but he lucked out there. But Tiberius Cornelius won that one. Outside of there, we move on now, noting the evil omens and the -1 it's going to bring through the remainder of this turn. We'll see how that goes. For now, though, our new dictator, Namarca Wedia, going to be planning for the upcoming wars, and we certainly look forward to those proposals in next week. So here, we'll hopefully see you all with us again next Sunday. Sunday evening Australian time, or about lunchtime, starting next Sunday. If you're based in Central Europe and Italy, Rome, Germany, about 10 a.m. Universal time. We'd love to have you join us for session 11. So far, we're ticking along. Hopefully, we can continue on. I think we had about 15 sessions last year before Rome got overcome by wars, and we're coming up to that anniversary of 15 closer and closer. So hopefully our new faction, bunch of factions here, new players can make it past that inevitable 15 and see how much further they can go. Right, but for now, that now concludes this session for this Sunday evening here, Australian time. I hope you really enjoyed yourselves. Thank you very much for joining us and participating in chat. And we certainly look forward to seeing you next week. Until next time, I'm Decimus Aurelius. This is the Nova Roman Twitch channel. Volete.